Well, good afternoon again, everybody. It's, I believe, the 18th? No, can't be. It must be the 19th. You know, I'm not even keeping track anymore. That's me. You know, I was going to do a video yesterday, but I was doing something else, talking with a quite interesting person. Should be working with that guy. I shouldn't be talking too much because I'll be doing a project. Of course, it's going to be his project. I'll be involved with that, and it's going to deal with broadcasting news. Sounds like a lot of fun. A little bit like a Joe Rogan sort of a thing, maybe. We'll find out for sure. I don't know. But anyway, it'd be broadcast here from Minsk, Belarus, you know, which has its big pluses, you know. You're maybe not under the eyes and the thumbs of the West. And that's where most of the problems are occurring now. Not in Belarus and not in other places. And of course, the West seems to be able to cast its problems out onto other areas, but thus far, they haven't been able to do that in Belarus. So, and I guess that was supposed to be happening before Ukraine, and they weren't able to do that. So I'll tell you what, you got to start looking a little bit closer at this country here, Belarus. And of course, we'll be doing that whenever we set up some sort of a program here in Belarus. Then you'll hear a lot more about it. So unfortunately, it probably won't be on YouTube. It wouldn't, I think if you put it on YouTube, you'd have more possibilities of a fart surviving in a hurricane than you would that show being on YouTube. Anyway, I don't need to say that much more about that. But anyway, I'm working on a different project for a different entity, and I'm kind of told I shouldn't be mentioning anything like that. And of course, things are going to be tested a little bit first. Call it a pilot program or something, and we'll find out if that's going to work. I guess it depends on my performance. A woman told me that once. If I'm going to be able to see her again, it depends on my performance. But let's not talk about that one. Okay. So there's one thing I wrote some notes here. It's not going to be a very long video this time, but there's one thing I didn't write in the notes, and it kind of bothered me. I don't know if I've ever mentioned before, I love forests. I'm a forest type of guy. I like mountains too. We don't have much about many mountains, maybe the very small ones at least in Belarus, if there are any. I'm told that there are some. So, but anyway, what I was going to talk about in that part is, I didn't take it on notes, is Ukraine. Ukraine is, as you know, they've sold much of the country to private entities, mostly American, I do believe. And if I'm not missing my guess, I think particularly like BlackRock. And I believe a lot of the land has been sold to BlackRock, and they're deforesting so much of Ukraine right now. I guess they've sold, I don't know if they just sold the timber rights, or if they sold the land, or either or both. But anyway, a lot of deforestation going on in Ukraine, and you don't really ever hear about that in any kind of news channel, but you hear it in mine, you know, because I just took note of it, because like I said, I love forests and things. I love trees, tropical forests, any kind of forest, you know. So just wanted to say that. And also some other news. The Hungarian Prime Minister, he has revealed that Ukraine has been charging now for the, there is part of the Druzhba pipeline still working, you know, oil from Russia, and it goes through Ukraine, and Ukraine, I would think that they don't take any, but you never know. Germany says they don't, and they do. So anyway, there's a part of this Druzhba pipeline. I believe it splits into 3 branches, and one branch goes the southern branch, I should say. It goes through Ukraine, and that branch, Ukraine has been charging apparently not double, not triple, not quadruple, but 5 times more what they're supposed to be charging. I don't know if it's going by the price of oil, or 5 times more than what the price was before the special military operation, or anyway, it's just really exorbitant costs. And as you know, Hungary is trying to stay neutral in this, and you're not allowed to stay neutral apparently. If they have any kind of leverage on you, the West, and you're staying neutral, they use that against you. You must support Ukraine. As long as people don't see me here, they're not going to do anything to me here. In Belarus, everything is basically neutral. So it's amazing, this country, that it can stay neutral. It's actually not neutral. It leans to the side of Russia because Belarus is part of a union state with Russia, and there are certain obligations that you have to go by. A lot of the people, like Russian people and Belarusian people, they are far more loyal to the rule of law than so many other places and countries that tell you they go by the rule of law. But they actually really do here, even when they don't want to. In most cases, I can tell you incidences in my life, my short time being over here in this hemisphere or part of the world. But anyway, I don't want to make this that long of a video. So the Gergely Gulias said that Ukraine's increase in the transit fees is actually, well, he didn't say it's illegal. He said it's against all norms. So let's just leave it at that. And Germany has been saying, well, in the next days we're going to decide on if we're going to send these AUKUS long-range missiles to Ukraine. And they said, but the software has been altered to where they minus 500 500 kilometers off of the normal range of that missile. So that tells me, wait a minute, they changed the software, but they're not sure if they're going to send it. So that doesn't make any sense. Sounds like to me they decided they're going to send it. If they've already altered the software. And I've always heard that software can be hacked, or you can put new software into something. So I wonder how that's going to work out. I don't know. Are we going to find one day that it's like cluster munitions? Oh, no, they won't be used on civilians. And of course, they're being used on civilians. Of course, like I mentioned the other day, they're being used on a massive scale against the Russians. I don't know how they are faring on that. I heard at least at the beginning that the Russians were suffering, some heavy losses. I don't know, but I think they have probably found a way to overcome that, and or maybe they're I don't know. I don't want to comment on the military matters, and don't pay much attention to anything I say about that, because I don't follow that too much. There is this channel, I guess, on Telegram, I heard, and it's actually broadcast from Belarus, and it's called Military Summary, I believe. And he speaks in English, and you might find out that it's one of the, if you like to follow military things, and of course, this is not like any kind of a boring stuff. This is actually well told, and the person, I believe, must be Belarusian or Russian, I don't know, maybe Ukrainian, I have no idea, but they can speak fairly fast. Even though it's not their native language, you can hear the accent, but very good. And like I say, it's a Telegram channel, Military Summary, I believe, is the name. I listened to it one time, and I'll probably listen to it much more. It does very well done with a map. You don't even see the person, but he's explaining what he's showing you as he goes through this. So that's just a shout out for that person. But anyway, this decision that I just mentioned, about these missiles, I guess that was put out on the German TV station, NTV, and they're the ones that said that these things will receive modified software. But yet we haven't decided on we're going to send it, but we modified software. So guess what? Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, I believe it might be JP Morgan Chase Bank. Anyway, huge financial institution in the world, not just the United States. very powerful. And as you know, that's J.P. Morgan, the person that the bank is named after. He was the one that started the federal, well, they started the Federal Reserve with the Federal Reserve Act. I guess it was 1913, I believe. President Woodrow Wilson signed it and said he made one of the biggest mistakes in U.S. history, which apparently he did. Because the Federal Reserve, as you know, is a private bank. It's not part of the government at all. So it's like they say, it's no more federal than Federal Express. So, but he is demanding. Get this one. He's demanding that governments seize private property in order to save the planet. So here you have a very, very powerful person, even though he's not in government, not a politician, but he controls a huge, huge sum of money, demanding politicians to seize private property of people in order to save the planet, probably Ukraine as well. I mean, that's the in thing nowadays, isn't it? Save Ukraine. And also, just recently, as you're hearing about this grain deal between Poland and Ukraine and Slovakia and Ukraine and what other countries? Hungary, Slovakia, Poland. You know, they don't really want to be forced to accept Ukrainian grain. One reason because the price is very low, the quality is low as well, and there are other concerns as well. And the main concern to them is that they don't want to destroy their farming industry in their country, because it puts their farmers out of business. And Poland, as a lot of people suspect, they have election coming, that after the election they're just going to fall into line, apparently, unless this can be a catalyst to start a rift between Ukraine and Poland, because it threatens to be spilled out into other areas as well, and it could be stopped by Ukraine by just doing some sort of a negotiation with this, but Ukraine is threatening. They're threatening Poland, and they're, like I mentioned 2 or 3 videos ago, that they said if they do that, they are going to take them to the World Trade Organization. If I were in the World Trade Organization, I would say, well, why should Poland be forced to take your grain? Anyway, it's because the European Union has said that Poland must accept Ukrainian grain, and Poland says, well, we're not going to do that. We're going to have our own unilateral penalties, and we're not going to accept the grain. So I don't know if the World Trade Organization is going to be forced to obey whatever this is, a law, which is not a very good law, from the European Union. We'll see. It's kind of an amazing thing, isn't it? I guess that's freedom, and that's democracy in the West. Do what you're told. This whole thing really, this whole, I don't know, what do you call it, an experiment? This democracy is an experiment. Freedom of choice, which you don't have. I don't know. What more can I say? Very puzzling thing. I don't even know what to say. It makes me speechless. So anyway, what was said lately, Duda, I guess this was said maybe even today, that Ukraine, this is a quote, Ukraine is a drowning man and grabs at everything and threatens to drag anyone to the bottom. So we're getting pretty hot here, you know? I mean, can you imagine? They must be angry for the president of Poland, who's buddy with Ukraine, to actually come out and tell the truth about Ukraine. You know, the U.S. is hinting at being honest about this whole situation with Ukraine now, after all these many months, approximately 2 years of nothing but lies and exaggerations and untruths, and you know, they're hinting at telling the truth now, that Ukraine is actually losing. And Zelensky is actually not a superhero. You know, I never saw him in any Marvel comic books or any DC comic books. So anyway, maybe he's not a hero, like we are told. I heard that he's going to be on the cover of some sort of a breakfast cereal or something. You know, I don't know if they're going to give you a free rubber Zelensky inside. I don't know if you have to put it together, or maybe if you can turn the head and the legs and all that, maybe like I don't know, a free Zelensky inside. So, and Duda was also supposed to have a meeting with Zelensky at the United Nations General Assembly, and I guess he's canceled that. Oh no. Well, it doesn't mean much. They can talk on the phone, they can send some emails. I have no idea. They can send messengers, and so that doesn't mean much. Also, as you're noticing, there's a big problem in Armenia and Azerbaijan, and well, I believe a lot of this stems from the president of Armenia. What's this guy's name? I wrote it here somewhere. Got some weird kind of name here. Pashinyan. Anyway, there's now a meeting set up. I don't know when, but it will be between Putin and Pashinyan. And Armenia is in kind of a really weird situation. They don't have any real friends in the world except for Russia. And it's a mountainous country. It doesn't actually border onto Russia, but it's in a precarious place, and it's a small country, and it's not a very pleasurable thing. But Armenia is one of the oldest countries on earth, I believe. I read this morning on a channel. I'm not sure which channel was that. Anyway, it's part of the one of the channels by this person that will be hopefully starting this studio here in Minsk, and that I should be a part of. And very amazing person, and he's got, like I said, 2 channels, and that's one of them, and a lot of information. This guy, if you think you can find any news station that you think is informed, I'm talking about an entire news station, well, this guy will put them all to shame. You know, I'm afraid to kind of work with this guy because he knows everything about what's going on. He's sort of has the ability to do multiple things at various times, and I don't know how he stays so well informed. But anyway, that's just a side note. Anyway, I saw that from him. It was about Azerbaijan and Armenia. It was mostly about Armenia. What am I tripping over here? All kinds of bricks are sticking up. Let me walk back here. Yeah, but who knows what's going to happen with that? Russia has evacuated over like 2,000 some civilians already. So there was some hostilities. There are people that are injured, and and there was some bombing. But the last thing that I heard, that there was a cessation of hostilities, at least for the moment. And then there's going to be this meeting with Putin. And if it were me, well, a lot of this is about this area. If you look on a map, I don't even need to tell you. It's called Nagorno-Karabakh, and they're kind of fighting over who gets this area and whatever. And I don't know. I believe a lot of those people, I don't know if they're split on some thinking that they're Azerbaijani and some think they're Armenian. But I'm only finding out that whoever they want to be with, they don't like the Armenian president because they see him as a traitor. He's been kind of buddying up to the United States, and the United States, it would be real poison for them to actually get involved there. It wouldn't help them with any sort of a aggression against Russia. It doesn't really border Russia. Sure, it would be a military base right near the borders of Russia, but I don't think they're going to get that much of an advantage with it. Russia does have a military presence. They're a very small one, of course, and of course maybe they're using that that base to actually help the Armenian people, and of course they've been friendly to Armenian people, but they also do not want to get involved in any kind of hostilities between Azerbaijan and Armenia. So it's kind of a difficult situation for everybody. And like I said, Armenia is one of the 3 or 4 oldest countries on earth. And so you don't want to just say, well, why don't you just become part of Azerbaijan? I would appreciate that there's a very great historical significance to being one of the world's oldest countries. So, I don't know. They can't just say, hey, why don't you be like Switzerland? I don't know. Anyway, don't want to say anything more about that. That's Russia is mediating probably for this peace deal, but there is yet no, at least at the time when I was looking, there's no appointment for Russia to meet with anybody from Azerbaijan. But like I say, they have good relations with both countries. You know, maybe a little bit more with Armenia, and Azerbaijan, of course, is very close with Hungary. So, it's sort of a, I don't know. I wonder if this is, obviously the United States has something to do with setting something up here. So, and yeah, we'll see what's happening. And Azerbaijan, of course, what the main crux of their problem is they're actually more powerful than Armenia, and they're demanding that this military presence in this disputed area, that Armenia removes their troops before they're going to call an official end to the hostilities. The only other thing I really want to mention is what's going on in the social media all over is Russell Brand. You know, Russell Brand, really a tremendous voice for anti-establishment, and I can't really say enough about it. He's got like he doesn't have like 2,000 viewers or 70,000 or 700. I believe he's got 5 million subscribers to his channel. So he's really giant. And of course, the establishment, they don't like his voice, and it's very imperative that they silence this guy. So this is much along the line of what they're doing to Trump and so many other people. It's some sort of a sexual allegations, probably of rape. You know, the Assange thing. How many people can you come up with that the establishment, you know, has used the same playbook with? They're all sex fiends or something like that. And if you heard Russell Brand, he said that any relations he had with any women were always consensual, and he's admitted that he had kind of a, well, he was kind of like a jackrabbit in those days. So, and I think he's come clear and on anything he said. But Russell Brand, what I've actually liked Russell Brand for is he's got this tremendous coordination with his brain and his mouth, and he's just incredible. I think he's a very, I don't know, I suspect he's a really highly intelligent person. So I don't know if, like I said, I'm not a college professor. I don't think I am. Anyway, but that's about all I have to say today, and it's I have to get back and continue with these projects that I have, or at least projects. So I hope I can do it successfully and don't fall flat on my face or something, and we'll see how things go. Well, you should be happy, like me. It's actually a day we've had nothing but sunshine and hardly any rain. We had some rain last night here in Belarus, and I'm happy about that. Trees can grow, grass can stay green. I'm even wondering why the grass is as green as it is right now with a lack of rain. So, but again, thanks for joining me, and I'm looking forward to see you on the next one. And I hope I can get my mind into doing another one in the very near future. So I don't know. I guess partly it depends on how much news comes up. You know, something very, very shocking or not. There's always something shocking going on, isn't there? So, okay. Like again, thanks for joining me. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.